World Water Forum, we're treating questions on water and water scarcity, but one question that hasn't been given a lot of attention is desertification. How do you manage land when there is no water? What do you think can be done to increase the visibility of this issue?
Well, the desertification is an issue which was already put very strongly since Rio. We have a convention on desertification. I was one of those 12 members who drafted the Convention on Desertification. Mr. Arba Diallo and Luc Nakacha, both of them, the former Executive Secretary and present Executive Secretary, are here. They were in a few debates yesterday. Of course, it's a very, very important and global question. What it is, unfortunately, is that it became too political, and there has been very little attention in terms of financing, particularly in terms of national attention. Some countries have paid attention to the desertification, which in fact needs a lot of part of the traditional system that has to be actually regenerated and revalorized. There is a part, of course, with globalization and the pressure, etc. You need some new ideas, new innovations. But generally speaking, it is that many countries have neglected most of their drylands. And this dryland issue is an important issue. The first thing is that most of the investment, public investment particularly, has gone where there is water, and they have invested on essentially natural resources. They did not invest on people, they did not invest on young people, they did not invest on social networks, they did not invest in humans, and all that investment went only to natural resources, essentially water in many of the drylands area, and often with very, very big and say not well conceived projects. Often either they use the water in a situation where the salinization has been increased, or the land degradation has been a very, very acute issue, and often they did not tailor the technology, the new technology, around the real fragile conditions which exist in drylands. Of course, drylands need specific attention. It needs integrated rural development. It needs to invest on the human capital, social capital, and there has not been that done. And now in World Water Forum, of course, we are talking about water scarcity, and of course these areas of dryland, they are more now because of the climate change. There's more problematic. There's more problems. These areas need more attention. But generally speaking, there should be a connectivity between sort of plain area and mountain area, between different capitals of human and natural resources. There should be integrated rural development where we could use the diversity and the specificity of the dryland products and services. That's why, for example, in this program, Globally Important Agricultural Heritage System, we have many of the agricultural heritage are from the dryland, from the regions where, of course, the human condition has been very difficult, but ingenuity and creativity of humans have been particularly interesting. For example, I know Mexico. I mean, one of the biggest and most famous products of Mexico is the alcohol coming from cactus. So, so it is a big product. It's a national identity, and it's coming from drylands. And but only they took that product, tequila, and only invested on tequila. They did not invest on people, where they had with the knowledge, their understanding, with their system. So we need to really build this conscience that we need to really work in more integrated way, in a in a more holistic approach, and especially empowering local communities. And there are some projects, some programs, just like the ones we mentioned this morning, that there are success stories. So we have to work more on these people and on these areas. Yes.
In terms of technology, what do you think is the most promising technique or approach?
Technologies, of course, we need to make a blend, a combination of traditional technologies and modern technologies. Traditional technology has its validity in a sort of context where there was, of course, lower human population. The needs were probably more modest than it is, and of course those technologies were very labor intensive. Now, so we need to really think, when we are introducing a technology, what was the rationale of these people? How did they see their environment in creating, for example, this underground water system, this kind of creating these dryland crops or multi-layer system? What was the rationale behind it? And then when we want to introduce a new technology, we should really think how this technology could be adapted. For example, the drip irrigation is, of course, a very, very good technology, because we know it has very low consumption of water, and the investment is not really that huge. But of course, then you need to invest on human capital, because they know they should learn how to manage it. They should learn how to install it, and of course that availability should be there. And additionally, we are talking in dryland, so often the dryland, the water has a lot of minerals, and often you need to re-clean, for example, the pipes. So there's a lot of complexity comes with this technology, but often the big decision maker, they just want to put, for example, drip irrigation without thinking how to invest on people, to make them to understand what it is and how it could be combined with the technologies existing. And of course, diversification again and use of local crops. That's another very important thing, which is we need to think about it. Each dryland area has a niche, and because of the specificity of the dryland, you have often products and services which are specific to that region. We need to really recognize this label of the specificity and try to valorize that in international and national market. Those are some of the areas that we have. We do have a program which is called LADA, Land Degradation Assessment in Dryland, and now we have a second phase. Mexico is a part of that, and we are working in that area. Another area that we are working in Mexico, in Guadalajara region, is that, for example, we know under the GEF, Global Environmental Facility, you can get carbon credit. So what we do is we go to municipality, we talk to them, and we install water treatment, essentially wastewater treatment, and use that treated wastewater for urban plantation, urban forestry, and then you get the carbon credit. So there is some innovation that could be done in this area. That's another project we are doing with, as I said, in Guadalajara region, with the Canadian are involved. So there are a number of good things, and I can give you my card, and you can write to me, and eventually we could give you more information about it.